Hello and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and here are the latest headlines that we are tracking. India and Russia to sign multi-billion-dollar deal for S-400 Triumph air defense missile systems to become only second country after China to acquire the system. Vice President inaugurates first Brics trade fair in Delhi, proposes five-pronged approach to boost intra-Brics trade. Month-long winter session of Parliament to begin from 16th of November. Early session to help approval of the GST bill. All India Muslim Personal Law Board to begin nationwide signature campaign over Uniform Civil Code. Board rejects law panel's questionnaire. Accused the centre of trying to nullify Islamic law. And world's longest reigning monarch, Thailand King Bhumibol Adulyadej passes away at 88. Emotional farewell for the king, widely respected across the nation. Well, a top story this morning: in a game-changing arms acquisition, Russia and India will sign a multi-billion-dollar deal for S-400 Triumph long-range air defense missile systems on Saturday, following talks between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Goa. Now, Russian presidential aide Yuri Ushakov said that India is interested in getting 5 systems of the most modern air defense system, capable of firing 3 types of missiles, creating a layered defense and simultaneously engaging 36 targets. Now, S-400 has the capability to destroy incoming hostile aircrafts, missiles and even drones at ranges of up to 400 kilometers. Now, if India signs the deal, it would be the second customer of the prized missile system after China, which had struck a $3 billion contract last year. The S-400, an upgraded version of the S-300, had previously only been available to the Russian Defense Forces. Russia also plans to sign an agreement on building Project 11,356 fringes for the Indian Navy and also setting up a Russian-Indian joint venture to produce Kamov Ka-22060 helicopters. And Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari inaugurated the first Brics trade fair in the national capital on Thursday. He said that the Brics bloc makes the benefits of globalization accessible to a large number of people. He also stated the need to increase trade in each other's currency and also promote information exchange.
As the 5 emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa come together to energize their economic partnership, Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari feels the group represents a shift in the global political economy and global governance issues. The Vice President also underscored the need for Brics countries to create a business-friendly environment for investors and a liberalized trade in services.
We need to foster the liberalization of trade in services, especially in promoting movement of people for commercial activity, both with Brics and globally. The proposal for a Brics visa on a long-term basis for genuine travelers is one such effort aimed at stimulating greater economic activity by enhanced mobility of our entrepreneurs.
The Vice President pointed out that Brics nations account for 43% of the world's population. Together, they also represent the dynamism, the growth and the future of world trade. He also emphasized that these economies need to translate their growth into inclusive economic development.
We recognize the importance of balanced global trade for mutual prosperity. Trade and investment are 2 priority areas of cooperation emphasized in the Brics Trade and Investment Cooperation Framework.
Trade ministers of all Brics nations also focused on economic partnership through enhanced trade and investment opportunities.
Brics countries complement each other's economies. They are also major resource suppliers to the entire world. Globalization has altered the world dynamics significantly since the end of the Cold War.
We will work together
to inject new vitality into the gold content of the Brics cooperation mechanism.
The BRICS Trade Fair this year was held on the theme of innovation for collaboration. The fair will focus on startups and bring together young entrepreneurs from across BRICS countries. It will also showcase the potential of the BRICS nations in about 20 key sectors. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Goa today, a day ahead of the Brics summit. The summit will start on 15th of October. Now, Goa Chief Minister Lakshmikant Parsekar has said that all preparations are in place. Now, during the 1.5 day, total 11 heads of the countries will arrive in Goa beginning today, midnight to 15th of October, late night. Roads which are leading to the venue and hotels where the leaders are staying would be blocked only during the movement of the VVIPs, which will ensure that there is no inconvenience to the locals. Ahead of the summit, though, the controversy has broken out over the BRICS logo. Now, the Congress has expressed objection to the logo of the event, saying that it looks like the party symbol of the BJP. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party has also questioned the absence of the name of the place where the meet is being held from the logo. The Congress has also filed a petition in the Election Commission of India demanding the steps should be taken to freeze BJP's election symbol, alleging misuse by going against the spirit of Symbols Order 1968, the law which regulates the allotment of symbol. And in related news, the RBI Governor Urjit Patel has warned BRICS nation of potential political risks from events such as Brexit, the US presidential election and political realignment in Europe. Now, while addressing a seminar on investment flows ahead of the BRICS summit, he also urged the BRICS nations to improve their business environment in domestic economies so as to make investments attractive. He says that the other challenges for the five-nation grouping are energizing investment, management of spillovers in view of uncertainties, and also prospects of returns by bouts of financial market turbulence.
Potential unconventional sources such as the black swan type of events like the Brexit vote, the US presidential election process, and the political realignments towards the fringes left or right in Europe. These have blipped on our radars and affect our policies going forward. Our monetary authorities, as in the BRICS countries, are particularly besieged since inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, and levels of reserves are some of the main variables that influence country allocations in foreign investors' portfolio decisions. Consequently, even though the sensitivity to spillovers has waned, managing them claims non-trivial resources and policy attention.
On to some other news. Well, the month-long winter session of Parliament will begin from 16th of November. The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs met in the National Capital on Thursday evening and recommended that the session would commence from 16th of November and end on 16th of December. Well, an early session may help with the central GST and integrated GST legislations, which will pave way for the goods and services tax to be approved within November or latest by early December. The government is also considering advancing the budget session of Parliament by a month or so, starting from January next year. Now, sources in the government have said that besides legislations relating to the GST, nearly 15 new bills are likely to be introduced. Now, the Cabinet has also approved the setting up of an Indian Institute of Management or IIM in Jammu. Well, this project will involve a cost of 61.9 crore rupees from the initial 4 years from 2016 to 2020. Now, a nod to a new link between Sahibganj bypass in Jharkhand to Manihari bypass in Bihar, including 4-lane bridge on Ganga, has also been given. A nod for the revision of ethanol price for supply to oil marketing companies to carry out ethanol blended petrol program has been given. Well, other approvals cleared are the redevelopment of residential colonies in AIMS campus in the national capital. Approval to the signing of a memorandum of understanding between India and Hungary on cooperation in water management was also given. Well, the Prime Minister has asked his Council of Ministers to make extra efforts for effective implementation of public welfare schemes at the ground level and also work on new ideas in their ministries ahead of the budget. Now, he said this while addressing his Council of Ministers. He asked them to review their budget expenditure and various programs to ensure implementation of the party's manifesto. He said the government has successfully launched a host of schemes that are doing good to public, and everyone has to move an extra mile to ensure their effective implementation. Now, sources said that the Prime Minister also asked all ministers to be cautious while handling government work and accord priority to the upcoming Parliament session that starts from 16th of November. Moving on in the bulletin, Finance Minister Arun Jaitly has expressed concern over increasing protectionist tendencies in developed economies spreading to other parts of the world. Now, Jaitly's comments came days after the International Monetary Fund urged policymakers to support global growth by resisting protectionist forces. Now, addressing a gathering of finance officials of the Brics group of emerging nations in Mumbai, Jaitly singled out Britain's vote to leave the European Union as well as the aggressive campaign against the trade deals in the US presidential election. He, however, hoped that fears about the free trade will subside once the US presidential elections are over. The finance minister also hinted that domestic reforms will neutralize any adverse impact of the global slowdown. He said the government has put FDI on automatic route in almost 90% of the areas that are eligible for foreign direct capital.
As far as the foreign direct investment is concerned, there were several sectors which were either not open or where the sectoral limits were extremely limited. Over the last 2.5 years, most of those sectors have been reviewed. And we now have probably one of the most open FDI policies, which has resulted in bringing large flows into India.
On to some other news. Well, Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Kurien has emphasized on the role of the media in society and the nation as a whole. Now, he was speaking at the Astor Media Awards 2016 on Thursday. He said that at a time when importance must be given to news relating to development in the country, the media is focusing on non-issues. He also said that the approach can be seen on news relating to all fields. PJ Kurien said in as many words that it is time for the media to introspect.
The impact of media is so important that it is necessary that media should ponder, introspect and see what is the impact of what they are doing. And more than the politicians, more than anybody else, it is the media and journalists who can impact the society.
The methodology of TRPs don't capture the Indian rural segments at all.
I completely
the Indian rural segment, it doesn't capture the agriculture sector at all. It doesn't capture the vast number of viewers in the villages of India. It captures a very elite urban class.
In News at 10, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we'll have more news. Stay with us.
Nanotechnology, I think, is something that is going to affect all of us for a simple reason that it's getting into all other technology. So we started nanotoxicology, looking at the adverse effects of nanomaterials way back in 2005. We were the first to do that in this country. And since then, we've been looking at various commercially important materials. We also came out with a policy document on the safe handling of these nanomaterials in the laboratory.
Watch Eureka with Professor Alok Dhawan only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, controversy has broken out over the last-minute dropping of a planned briefing on surgical strikes at the meeting of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Defence, where the two senior Congress members are dubbing it highly unacceptable and pitching for bringing back the original agenda. Now, in a joint statement, Congress General Secretary Ambika Soni and Masududin Mistry said the decision not to brief the committee over surgical strikes under the garb of secrecy only amounts to lack of confidence in the members of Parliament who are in the committee and who are bound by the oath of secrecy. However, BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy, who is also the member of the standing committee, differed, saying the decision should be left to the army. Now, the DGMO was expected to brief the committee, but now that has been changed as the new agenda mentions discussion on proxy war.
Member of Parliament भी are bound by oath, secrecy की oath के उस पे है. So not briefing them it amount to a lack of confidence, which we have written to them, in fact. और ऐसा change of agenda पहली बार नहीं हुआ, उसके पहले भी हुआ था. The acquisition of purchase of arms and ammunition or equipment in last 10 years.
Members of Parliament do not take oath of secrecy. Only cabinet ministers take. And in the cabinet ministers, of them, some are selected to be in the cabinet committee on political affairs, which is the only one which gets intelligence and intelligence briefing. The overall cabinet does not get intelligence briefing unless the prime minister especially orders it for some special occasion.
स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में एजेंडा भी होता है, लेकिन मेंबर यदि चाहेंगे तो कोई सवाल भी वहाँ खड़ा कर सकते हैं, कोई सवाल पर बातचीत कर सकते हैं. वो तो प्रेरोगेटिव जो कमेटी है उसका है. तो वो मान लो उन्होंने एजेंडे में नहीं रखा, लोग अपने तरीके से इस बात को उठा सकते हैं.
Well, on to the other big story. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board will begin a nationwide signature campaign today among Muslims against the central government affidavit in the Supreme Court on the issue of triple talaq. Now, the board has boycotted the questionnaire by the Law Commission on Uniform Civil Code. The commission has now expressed surprise over the move. The Muslim bodies have accused the government of waging an internal war against the community.
Days after the Law Commission released a questionnaire seeking responses from the public on the Uniform Civil Code, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board on Thursday accused the central government of trying to nullify Islamic law. The board rejected the questionnaire, saying that multiplicity of cultures needs to be respected.
जो सवालनामा उनको निष्पक्ष होकर करना चाहिए था, वो सवालनामा निष्पक्ष न होकर वन साइडेड हो गया है. इसलिए हम लोगों ने इसके बाइकाट का फैसला किया. जहां तक ताल्लुक यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड का है, हम सब लोगों की एक राय है कि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड इस मुल्क के लिए किसी तरह मुनासिब नहीं है.
Other Muslim groups also supported the Muslim Personal Law Board, accusing the Modi government of trying to destroy the nation's plurality.
धर्मों के विरुद्ध अधर्मियों का षड्यंत्र है, इसको हम कामयाब नहीं होंगे.
I support the statement of the Secretary Muslim Personal Law Board that these type of actions create a mistrust among the communities and will lead to different forums being invoked, courts being invoked. Instead of that, if the government of India is serious about the issue, let them draft a law on the stand that they are taking one nation, one law. Let them draft a comprehensive law like they have done for the education bill and put it in public domain and then talk about it.
Women's rights activists, however, supported the government, calling for a reform of the Muslim personal law that discriminates against women.
The Personal Law Board does not speak for all Muslims all over the country. We, the Muslim women, are going to fight for our Quranic rights. We, the Muslim women, are going to fight for our rights as citizens of India.
The government's stand against the contentious custom remains clear.
हम डेमोक्रेसी पर विश्वास करने वाले लोग हैं, लोकतंत्र पर विश्वास करने वाले लोग हैं, इसीलिए हमने ओपन इस पे बहस की बात कही है, इस पे चर्चा की बात कही है. तथ्यों और तर्कों के साथ अपनी बात को सभी लोगों को रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये इशू जो है वो कोई आज का इशू नहीं है, बहुत बार है. तमाम ऐसे देश हैं जिन देशों ने कि इसमें रिफॉर्म किए हैं, जो इस्लामिक देश हैं उन्होंने भी कई रिफॉर्म किए हैं. तो रिफॉर्म तो हमेशा समाज को बेहतर रास्ते पे ले जाने का में मददगार रहा है.
The Law Commission's questionnaire asked stakeholders and general public the relevance and need for a uniform civil code. In addition, Commission Chairman Justice B.S. Chauhan has also sought feedback on the impact of such a code on women's development, triple talaq, polygamy and other issues. All suggestions and views need to be submitted within 45 days. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, and now let's get you some international news. Well, Thailand has begun funeral preparations for King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who died on a Thursday, aged 88. Now, the world's longest reigning monarch, King Bhumibol, was a revered figure who helped unify the nation in his 70-year reign. Now, experts say that given the pivotal role the king has played in maintaining the balance of power in Thailand's volatile political environment, the succession will be a formidable challenge for the government. Large crowds at Siriraj Hospital in Bangkok breaking down as news of death of their head of state for 70 years, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, poured in. The world's longest reigning monarch reigned through an era of rising prosperity and frequent political turmoil. King Bhumibol was the member of the Chakri dynasty that occupied the Thai throne since the 18th century. US-born and Swiss-educated Bhumibol was a deeply revered figure whose unifying appeal stretched across the spectrum of Thai society. United Nations General Assembly held a moment of silence for Thailand's late king. US President Barack Obama recalled the king as a man of grace and warmth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described him as one of the tallest leaders of our times.
I just know that I love my king. You see, king, they're helping everybody, helping the poor, everything, you know. So you never find a king like our Thai king. You see, whole world, our king the best, helping the poor.
His Majesty King Bhumibol was revered by the people of Thailand as a unifying national leader. He was also highly respected internationally.
The Thai National Legislative Assembly held a special session to mourn in Parliament the death of the country's king. Bhumibol's body is to be moved to the city's Emerald Temple later today. Flags are to fly at half-mast for 30 days. The official mourning will last a year. Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn is to be the new monarch but has asked for a delay before taking over the role. He knows King Bhumibol will be a hard act to follow. The Thai Prime Minister has appealed for calm.
พื้นที่ทั่วประเทศนั้นมีความปลอดภัยมีการประสานงานกันจัดชุดเฝ้าระวังเวรยามนะครับรปภ.ต่างๆเพิ่มมาตรการความเข้มงวดหากมีเหตุต้องสงสัยก็ขอให้แจ้งเหตุได้นะครับกับเจ้าหน้าที่
The king's death comes as Thailand remains under military rule following a coup in 2014. The country has suffered from political violence and upheaval over the past decade, as well as from bomb attacks blamed on Muslim separatists from southern provinces. Though a constitutional monarch with limited official powers, Thais look to King Bhumibol to intervene in times of high tension. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And Maldives has decided to leave the Commonwealth, saying that it was a difficult decision but inevitable. Now, Maldives Foreign Ministry said in a statement that Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group, or the CMAG, and the Commonwealth Secretariat have treated the Maldives unjustly and unfairly. Now, CMAG, in its meeting last month, had warned that it would consider suspension of Maldives from Commonwealth in March next year if substantive progress is not made across the priority areas, including democratic and human rights. Maldives' statement said that Commonwealth has sought to take punitive actions against the Maldives since 2012 after the then president of Maldives resigned. The development came as the opposition parties have united under Maldives Democratic Party led by former President Mohammed Nasheed and are planning to overthrow the current government led by President Yamin. Now, the current government has faced repeated criticism in recent times from international community on charges of human rights violations and also curbing media freedoms. News from the US now, and Donald Trump has rejected a slew of accusations of sexual misconduct, telling supporters in Florida that they're absolutely false and totally wrong. Now, Trump hit back hard against what he called were vicious reports that he had allegedly groped women, saying that they were pure fiction and outright lies. The Republican presidential nominee further promised to provide evidence to prove that they were untrue. Now, Trump is battling allegations that came to light after two women told the New York Times in a report that Trump touched them inappropriately. Meanwhile, US President Barack Obama has reiterated that Trump was unfit to be the president. The First Lady Michelle Obama also delivered a scathing attack on Trump's comments and behavior.
Instead of the issues, they've slandered and libeled me with false accusations, but we will not let these lies distract us from our campaign. And it's a campaign of truth.
The choice between candidates has never been this stark. It's a choice between somebody who is as qualified as has ever been. That's on the one hand. And then on the other hand, you've got somebody who each and every day, every time he talks, proves himself unfit and unqualified for this office.
This was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior.
Let's now get you all the sporting action. Here is the sports beat. Defending champion Ajay Jairam reached the quarterfinals of the Dutch Open Grand Prix badminton tournament after notching up an easy straight game win over Norway's Marius Meire in the men's singles competition. Now, top seed Jairam defeated 16 seed Marius 21-6, 21-6 in a lopsided contest. He will next face Brazil's Igor Coelho de Oliveira. Meanwhile, 11 seed Parupalli Kashyap lost 18-21, 18-21 to 6 seed Raul Must of Estonia. The Indo-German tennis pair of Liane Pace and Andre Begemann have advanced to the final of the Tashkent ATP Challenger. The duo defeated a local pair of Sanjar Feziev and Jurabek Karmov 6-2, 6-0 in the semi-finals. Suresh Raina has been ruled out of the first ODI against New Zealand in Dharamshala on 16th of October due to a bout of viral fever. Raina last played an ODI for India in October 2015. He had been recalled to the squad for the first 3 matches of the 5 ODI series against the Kiwis. Now, the BCCI has not named a replacement for him in the side. French Gil Simon has advanced to the quarterfinals of the Shanghai Masters after an impressive 6-4, 6-4 win over number 3 seed Swiss Stan Wawrinka. Wawrinka, who won the US Open last month for the 3rd Grand Slam title of his career, took the early initiative before Simon broke him twice to take the first set 6-4. And Chelsea has signed a club record kit deal with Nike that is reported to be worth £60 million per season to the Premier League club. The Blues have been in talks with American sportswear giants Nike since May, when it was confirmed that Chelsea were ending their partnership with Adidas 6 years early at the end of June 2017. Chelsea will earn an estimated £900 million by the time the deal expires in 2032. Well, that's all in this edition of news. Thanks so much for your time.